At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
Support the programs you love and wear your Mississippi pride on your sleeve, literally, with the new merch on the MPB shop. Check out our latest drop with apparel from your favorite TV and radio shows, both current and throwback, featuring fan favorites like Next Stop Mississippi, Southern Dish, Ampton Wired, and more. Every purchase you make supports MPB. Visit mpbonline.org and click the shop button at the top to show your support today.
Welcome to Deep South Dining on MPB Think Radio, and we were thinking about sandwiches this morning.
We are. That's
almost
why
said
we're
this
thinking
morning.
about cheeseburgers in paradise.
Yes, we are.
We just realized that we've been doing this for 7 years, and we've never just, we've mentioned a lot of sandwiches.
Yeah.
But we've never had it as a theme.
We're going to drill into the sandwich.
We are.
We're gonna unwrap the
sandwich.
sandwich.
And look what I wore today.
I saw that you have on a T-shirt that says mayo and tomato.
Yes, and I also have asparagus earrings that one of our wonderful listeners made, Jan Swearingen.
Are you promoting an asparagus sandwich?
No, but I just thought they looked nice with my red T-shirt.
I agree. Let's see. So we're going to, later on in the show, i.e. second segment here, we're going to have a guest. Chef Gregory Glass will join us. He's got a sandwich establishment in Fondren known as Sermon Sandwich Bar, but we'll save all that when we get to that part of the show. I wanted to shout out to my wife, who cooked a couple of really cool things this past week. One was a pasta salad with asparagus, speaking of which, fresh peas and asparagus in it, and a rotisserie chicken. We were going to use the lobster tails that Christina and Richard Ford finally sent to us. They had a few snafus in getting our lobsters to us, but we had a great back and forth via email with Christina trying to get these lobster tails. Have you consumed your lobster tails?
I still have a few. In fact, I'm going to be making lobster salad with my last ones tomorrow.
Well, we were going to make lobster pasta salad last evening, but after reading the instructions, they arrived frozen. There's a step-by-step way to thaw, and you don't want to mess them up. So ours are still lying in wait, and we will talk about them when they come to pass.
I will say, make sure you have sturdy kitchen shears. Mine were not sturdy enough when I did my first batch out at Go Away Lodge last month. So I went to Sur La Table yesterday and bought some Joyce Chin, my favorite. We used to sell them forever at the Everyday Gourmet, some Joyce Chin scissors and some seafood scissors just in case those didn't work, because you got to crack through there.
Got to crack through the lobster shell, yeah. Well, very good. So that's one dish. And then I also wanted to mention that we had some bananas, a stalk of bananas that were perfectly ripe, and I just thought, why don't we make some banana bread? And we had these wonderful salted pecans that someone gave me for Christmas.
Would that have been me?
That would be you. And so Kara took these two items and folded them into a delicious pecan and salted pecan and banana bread, which was yummy, yummy, yummy. I didn't bring any because I ate it all, but
Well, that's okay, Mel.
I just wanted to talk about it a
I'm
little
really
bit.
glad
really
that the pecans were used and used well.
Yes.
Malcolm, I have to admit, it's just been too hot to cook for me.
It's warm.
We
That's
have
why we
been
had
in-
a pasta salad, and we're going to eat on it for a couple of days because it's too hot to eat hot food.
When it's 100 degrees at 6 o'clock in the evening. But we have been eating many tomato products, many tomato sandwiches, and it's
we're
it's almost
closing.
over.
It's almost over for us. It's
for
been
tomatoes and peaches.
It's been a tragic tomato season at our house. Both of my suppliers suffered through too much rain and too much heat, and we got a batch or two, and we were grateful for them, but we didn't get the usual bounty that we are accustomed getting. So, such is life. We've had to purchase various tomatoes here and there, and but they've been a tasty season, but it's been for us a very small season. A frugal season.
So sad.
Let's see. I wanted to tell our listeners a couple of things. We've mentioned it before, but Chef Regina Charbonneau will be coming on the show to talk to us about the reopening of King's Tavern, the oldest inn in the state of Mississippi, in Natchez. She is redesigned the King's Tavern to be an event space, and her cooking classes and other
And a restaurant. Too.
and a restaurant,
Yeah.
and she's got a new cookbook that you got us a copy of.
Yes, and while I haven't been cooking, I've been reading her cookbook, and Regina has always been, to me, such a fascinating woman, but I'm loving reading about her childhood and the roots of
It's
her
almost like a
family.
memoir /
It is.
cookbook.
It is.
There are recipes aplenty, but there are great photographs and stories of her career. She's six decades in the business. She calls this a six-course meal.
But what an interesting life to go from Natchez to Alaska to San Francisco. I mean, she's just had
She's been
some
around.
great life experiences that she puts on the plate in Natchez.
She does. So we look forward to that. That's August 24, Regina Charbonneau. And we've managed to run down we think, the only female lobster farmer.
Oyster, Mal.
Oh.
Oyster.
I got lobsters
lobster.
on the That's why there are two hosts of this show, one brain, two people. We've run down, we think, the only female oyster farmer in Mobile Bay. Her name is Jackie Wilson, and Marissa ran her down, and she's going to come join us on August 31 and talk about oyster farming and the restoration of the oyster reefs in the Mobile Bay area. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, you've been on this for a while.
Well, I read about her, and I just thought,
I mean, it's the perfect thing for our listeners.
let's have her come in.
Let's do it.
All right, let's see. There is a interesting phenomenon going on down in Ocean Springs. The Mary C. O'Keefe Culture Center is hosting tours of Elvis Presley's 1956 summer on the coast. And Elvis legendarily spent that summer, 1956, on the coast, mostly in and around Bay St. Louis and out on the barrier islands and such. Did a lot of fishing, skiing, and hanging out. But the Mary C. has put together a food tour of what Elvis ate while he was there, what he likes to eat. And our great friend Susan Marquez wrote a story for, what was the name?
The Magnolia Tribune.
The Magnolia Tribune. About the upcoming tours. They're going to be held Wednesdays and Thursdays at 1:30 until 4 p.m., and I think it's now through August 27.
Yeah, tight timeline.
Tight timeline. But she takes you to 5 or 6 different places in Bay St. Louis, in Ocean Springs. But the one that got my attention was that the tour begins at the Government Street Grocery. It's kind of like the old George Street Grocery here in Jackson, where the meal of meatloaf and mashed potatoes is on the schedule. And that is fitting because Priscilla Presley once revealed that Elvis ate exactly this meal every single night for 6 straight months. Meatloaf and mashed potatoes. That's so Elvis-esque.
Yes.
Well, I mean, if you find something you like, why not?
Hey, I was married to somebody that ate Raisin Bran and skim milk every morning.
Every morning.
Just never deviate.
And finally, Carol, my across-the-street neighbor, Charlotte Cha-Cha Charles, passed away on July 25, and I went to her visitation because she was my my across-the-street neighbor, though I actually never met her. She had a fall and had moved out of her Belhaven home to Starkville, where her daughter Marie and her husband Mike Crayson live, and so I would visit with Marie and Mike when they would come over on weekends to take care of their mother's house, and then I'd get updates on Charlotte Charles, and the more stories I heard, the more I was fascinated about this woman. And you knew her.
As I said, you hit me with an emotional wallop this afternoon when you sent me a text with the picture of her funeral program. I mean, she was an important person in my life and a thread, just a thread through my life. She was of my mother's generation, and she catered in Jackson out of her home in Belhaven. And the first thing people asked when they knew they had to have a function was, can we get Charlotte Charles? You planned everything around that. But she was, delightful and genteel and lovely, but like a woman of purpose, a serious,
yes.
It was just somebody that I always respected greatly. I mean, she had, I went to St. James Church, and
where she
always
her service was
had a real strong role in the church, which I noticed because as a child, women didn't, really weren't that visible at that time in officialdom of the church. But you just really hit me on that one. I can just think of all the ladies' luncheons that Charlotte Charles did, and
yep.
she was beloved.
And what were you telling me about her recipes and the ingredients?
She would the way she priced things, which caterers today. I mean, even then, I was going, Mother, do you know what you're doing? Charlotte would turn in her grocery from Jitney 14. She'd go to the grocery store and buy all the ingredients for the meal, and she would give the host the receipt, and then she had a little, her profit was just a flat fee, but she always wanted everybody to know just what the groceries were, and then she made what I thought was a little something.
Well, she passed at the ripe old age of 95. And she went to Central High School here in Jackson. She was on the tennis team. She had a fascinating life. Following her college education, she went to Mississippi State College for Women. She came back to Jackson and went to work at the medical library. No, I'm sorry. She went to Atlanta and went to work for the medical library at Emory University. Then, upon returning to Jackson, she dedicated herself to her family and community service. And her love of cooking and party planning grew into a business that she continued out of her house until she was 80 years old.
Yeah, she was something.
She was something, and we will.
And thank you so much for bringing that to us.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what we're going to do, Carol. We're going to take a break.
Me, Mal.
We're going to take a break, and we're going to talk about sandwiches. The sandwiches in English
Oh, yes.
Oh.
We'll talk about the Earl of Sandwich
The Earl.
when we come back.
Did you know that the Earl was a gambler?
Yes, I did, Mal.
And did you know that that's how the sandwich was invented? Because
yes, I did, Mal. You're blowing the story.
blowing the upcoming discussion. All right, we're going to take a short break, and we shall come back to more Deep South dining and our conversation about sandwiches and our special guest, Chef Gregory Glass of Dodo Bird in North Park and the Sermon Sandwich Bar in Fondren. Come back and join us.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
School choice, rural hospitals, voter access. The 2026 Mississippi Legislature will impact you and your family for years to come. MPB brings you At Issue, a weekly analysis of the legislative session and the issues affecting you with perspectives from both sides of the aisle. Brandon Jones and new At Issue analyst Rebecca Staples join me, Wilson Stribling, every Monday at 5 p.m. only on MPB Think Radio and wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Support the programs you love and wear your Mississippi pride on your sleeve, literally with the new merch on the MPB shop. Check out our latest drop with apparel from your favorite TV and radio shows, both current and throwback, featuring fan favorites like Next Stop Mississippi, Southern Dish, Ampton Wired, and more. Every purchase you make supports MPB. Visit mpbonline.org and click the shop button at the top to show your support today.
Sandwiches.
Love the music.
Well, Carol, August is National Sandwich Month, and somehow, in more than 7 years of Deep South dining, we've never actually devoted an entire show to the sandwich. And maybe that's because sandwiches that we grew up with didn't seem like anything special, and that they would, warrant a radio show.
Yeah, because in my house it was peanut butter and jelly on white bread. With 6 children, my mom would just slap it and hand them down the counter. And bologna on white bread. Mm-hmm. Pimento cheese, maybe.
Indeed. But somewhere along the line, something happened to the sandwich.
Well, I was talking with our guest before the show and talking about Mason Herford of Turkey and Wolf in New Orleans. And when he opened Turkey and Wolf in 2016, it kind of caused an explosion in the sandwich world. I mean, he was even named best restaurant by Bon Appetit.
There you go.
That year. I mean, he took it to a whole new level, and all of a sudden you start seeing sandwiches appear on fine dining menus. Kind of changed everything. And right here in Jackson, in the bold new city, in Fondren, we have Gregory Glass doing something really special. And I love the name of it, the Sermon Sandwich Bar.
Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, we're glad that you are here.
Glad to be here.
And you brought a few things,
I did.
which you can talk about a little bit if you want. But most of all, we want to talk about you and how you ended up where you are doing what you're doing. Okay. What's your journey?
All right. Where should I start?
Where were you born and raised?
Greenwood, Mississippi, so in the Delta.
Okay.
So a lot of what I do is informed by that, being raised a certain way. And I went to school in Jackson, went to Chastain, went to Murrah, and then I went to Mississippi.
I went to Chastain.
Right,
I went to Murrah.
There we go. That's
Murrah Mustang.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
We got it.
Yeah, we got it. But yeah, and then went to Mississippi State, and then from then on, worked at a bunch of restaurants, a bunch of different professions. Left for like 20 years, and we came back in 23. And, it's been kind of building a brand since then, so. Yeah.
So you were associated with Jason's Deli for many years, weren't you?
Yes. Jason's Deli taught me a lot. Just by the way of making a sandwich, understanding how making a sandwich can be very important. We studied that brand, and they did a good job of like drilling it into your head processes and why it matters to have quality products, because that was something that they did a lot of, focused on organic, focused on like no trans fats when people weren't even thinking about that kind of stuff. So that stuck with us, and they did a good job managing me and getting me to understand that you have to be a total person. So they'd make us read a bunch of books. We ran marathons, all this stuff. That was just helped me understand things and helped me be a better chef when I became a chef. So.
Well, you were with them for a number of years and really rose up in the company, right?
Yeah, 8 years. I actually started at the one here on County Line Road when they were there. And then I moved from there to Franklin, Tennessee, opened some stores in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and Louisville, Kentucky, Nashville. My stores were in Huntsville, Alabama. So, yeah, long stint with them.
Yeah, so you got that corporate background.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Were you in the military?
I was not.
Okay.
I hear that a lot, but no, I wasn't.
What you were describing sounded to me a lot like
it was a bit of a
military.
military, yeah. Brigade kitchen, that's what they call them, so I think that's why. Yeah.
Well, the thing about being in that corporate structure and then going out on your own is you know how to do it, because restaurants are a matter of pennies and nickels.
Absolutely.
And knowing, how to make a sandwich profitably, pretty important.
It took a lot of mistakes to get to that point too, because chefs are artists first, and then they then we realized, you got to make money too. So yeah, being in that corporate setting, really understood if a piece of cantaloupe fell on the floor, then how much that equated to per year in dollars. That kind of stuff helps. You don't want to do that when you're making something fancy. You just want it to be right. But having both kind of pulls at you in each way. But I think it helps out.
So when did Sermon Sandwich Bar open?
So we opened November 1st of 25. Yeah.
Okay.
How's it going?
It's going fantastic. Our goal was to create something that felt like it was there for decades, and just do something that everybody loves, which is sandwiches. And I like to say it was delivered to me by God in my sleep. So I woke up and I was like, I'm going to call it Sermon. But we hadn't signed a lease or anything like that when that happened. So that location came available. It fit the concept, and then we started developing a concept based off of the location. And sandwiches just made sense. So going back to the Jason's background and then trying to tie in, like, if you notice the menu is designed around classic sandwiches. The beauty in that is they already taste good. A club already tastes good. A Reuben already tastes good. That's why they're classic. It's like classic cocktails. So I was able to add my southern touch to it and my special touch to it to say, instead of a club, we're going to do a fried bologna club. Because like you said, I remember growing up eating a fried bologna sandwich. That was my lunch. And if we didn't have bologna, then I had a mayonnaise sandwich.
Right.
Yeah.
So those things really was like, I'm back home. Let me take it back home with the menu too.
Yeah, you want people eating your food to feel and recognize something familiar,
Absolutely.
but it's totally different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And by the way, my husband had the bologna club sandwich today.
Yes.
He's a big fan of bologna, and he thought it was really outstanding.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You can imagine, Malcolm, I had the grilled cheese and tomato.
Of course you did.
Can't turn down a grilled cheese.
There you go.
So you also have the Dodo Bird
Yes.
in North Park. Tell us, when did that open?
So that's recent, less than a month old.
Okay.
And the idea behind that was, just no plans of doing that, but the new general managers of North Park, they were in the Fondren area because they were recruiting, is what I want to call it. But they're good people, and I spent some time in Ecuador, and but being in restaurants, I've had some experience with learning Spanish. So this guy walks in, and we started talking, and we end up having a full conversation in Spanish in Sermon Sandwich Bar, and it's just these two guys speaking Spanish in the bar, and we're just like, what is this? And I was like, all right, do we have a connection? so anyway, long story short, they kind of did their pitch. I went out there and looked around, and it was just about, Jackson has something so special, especially in the 90s when I grew up with it. And North Park Mall was a huge part of that. And I remember just going there and being dropped off with my parents, and they didn't have to worry about me for 4 to 5 hours. And then after that, we were going to the movies. And I was like, what did we lose in that? So I really wanted to be a part of trying to bring that back because I have young children, and I need them to experience at least some versions of the cool that I experienced. So with Dodo Bird, it was like, let's just be a benefit to it if we can be. And I had a fried chicken restaurant, or a food truck when I was in Austin, Texas. So we just kind of brought some of those concepts
And that was
back.
Yardbird?
Yeah, that was Yardbird, yes.
So Dodo Bird is a chicken sandwich establishment.
Yes.
You can get it fried only, grilled? How
fried
can you
only
get your
for right
sandwich?
now. Yeah, fried only for right now. We're going to evolve the concept, but these things we think are pretty foolproof. So it's fried chicken, beignets, and coffee. That's the concept.
Okay.
So you can get beignets
Wow,
as you
can't
would.
beat that.
Yeah. So we knew that Chick-fil-A was not in the mall. We also knew the mall did not have coffee. And while we don't go too far with it, we try to keep it within that Cafe du Monde concept with you can get some beignets, you can get a cafe au lait, you can get a latte and a drip coffee. And that should be cool for now. And the chicken sandwiches, we're just along the lines of the sandwiches already. Let's just stay in our lane and do something that's cool and make some really good chicken sandwiches, something quick, approachable. It's very inexpensive. It's $11. You can get a chicken sandwich and fries.
What kind of bread are you using?
We use brioche. We use brioche at Dodo Bird, only brioche buns. And at Sermon, we do mostly sourdough. Everything else is either a brioche bun or a French baguette.
Do you fry at Sermon?
No.
No fried food there.
No fried food and no chicken. That's why.
There's a
Dodo
chicken
Bird
place next
exists
door.
as a chicken place next door. But, no grilled chicken. We had a chicken salad at one point, but I never wanted to do chicken on the Sermon menu. I just didn't. I couldn't think of a cultural sandwich that had chicken on it. So because that didn't make sense to me, I was like, I'm not going to force it. But now there's a whole restaurant devoted to chicken in the mall.
Yeah,
So
you got that covered
yeah,
now.
so we're good.
So obviously you're really into this whole chicken thing from your South American experiences.
Yes,
So tell
yes.
us what the dream is.
The ultimate dream for Dodo Bird.
Oh, for Dodo Bird, it started with just the concept that we were doing that as the food truck, but this is our field test for franchise. So we wanted to make something that was scalable, something that you could do relatively quickly. You don't have to have a ton of training, but it's good. It makes you want to come back for it, even when you're not thinking about it. So when I was in Austin, I wanted people to think about Yardbird when they thought about fried chicken. They were like, I want fried chicken, then you think Yardbird before you think any other concept. Same thing with chicken sandwiches now. I want you to think about Dodo Bird or beignets. Where else can I get those in Jackson? And beignets should just have coffee with them. So the idea is just to be able to franchise this. And when I say franchise, we want multiple locations. We want you to be able to have a Dodo Bird in Biloxi if it's there or whatever, and so on and so on. That's the idea. But it will flesh out to more of a restaurant like in North Park, as opposed to like this food stall. We want it to be kind of a food hall kind of situation where you can actually sit there and maybe there's a football game on during football season. And so we have some plans for it. We just have to make sure it makes sense.
So there's obviously a faith component to your story, sir.
Absolutely.
And the name Sermon Sandwich Shop shouts out gospel. You want to tell us how you arrived at that?
I realized I've always been faith-based. I've always been informed by what God's telling me to. I was raised that way. We went to church all the time. But, you got to do more than just go to church. You got to listen. And as I got later in my life, I realized it was a little bit harder when I was trying to do things myself. So I just kind of took my hands off the wheel and let God kind of inform me. So sermon came about as me being kind of the pastor in that restaurant. I'm the pastor, so I want everybody else to be the congregation. I don't want you to come and build your sandwich. That's not what you do. You come and you receive the gospel. And after that, you will evangelize about it and say, hey, that was a really good sandwich, and then other people come. And that's how you build community. So the focus was really about that because there is no malice. I don't have any ill will. I'm giving you good food. Like, we use really good ingredients, and I think you can tell that in the food. So that's really what it was about. And when people come in there, and you can see the tie into the social media also, where yes, I'll quote scripture sometimes, but it's because I was told to, and I'm trying to be obedient in this season, and I love it more than any other season I've ever had. So.
And your sandwiches all, it sounds like, have sort of a story. Each and every one has its own story.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm
we were
glad
talking
that you
about
can pick up on it.
We were talking about the Cuban earlier.
The turkey cubano.
Yeah. So there was a turkey cubano that I had, and it was the most popular sandwich that we had. But again, every single thing matters. I need to check on this because I'm maniacal about making every single thing matter. But the turkey cubano was, I didn't want to do turkey, much like I didn't want to do a chicken sandwich when I had my food truck. I wanted to do bone-in chicken, but somehow these things end up in their spaces, and that sandwich has evolved to like a sandwich that I brought you guys today, which is pork and pickles, because we have a lot of people who don't eat pork, or we have a lot of people who don't eat tomato. But my job was to say, well, why not? Not why don't you eat pork? I know there are reasons, religious reasons why you don't, but people will order a cubano before they will a pork and pickles, just because of the name. Mm-hmm. And, you know, a lot of people shy away from names on a menu. You really may want the Montepulciano, but you're not going to order it because you can't pronounce it. But it's a really good wine. You know what I'm saying? So this is part of how we try to conceptualize what we do with some of the food that may seem unapproachable. Just try it. And I promise you, I didn't do anything bad to it. It should be good for you and good to you. So all the sandwiches are that way.
Okay, well, you have 2 bologna sandwiches.
I do.
You have the muffaletta just really looks really interesting.
Yes.
That's going to be my next. And then the bologna club. So on a small menu, devoting that much space to bologna, you must be a believer.
You know, again, this is a nod to how I was brought up, and my grandmother and my mother. I don't want to push away the things that they gave to us because I don't think they were giving it to us to do anything wrong to us. We just have to treat it well. Products are made differently nowadays, so I have to be highly conscious of what we're doing. But yeah, the muffaletta is just because, again, this is a Jason Zelli thing, and the restaurant's really designed around things I would eat. Would I eat these things? And a muffaletta is one of my favorite sandwiches. I also have a extreme love for New Orleans, which is why the beignets are at the other restaurant. So I had to represent a muffaletta on the menu. The Fry Bologna Club is really the point of entry for the restaurant because I haven't met anybody who hasn't had fry bologna before, and that's because we live in the South.
Well, it was an inexpensive working class food.
Yep.
And a piece of white bread, a slice of that kind of weird bologna with the
red ring around it.
With the red ring.
If I could serve it with that legally, I would do it.
But all of a sudden, it seems like people now have realized, Southerners are saying, why do we have to be embarrassed about bologna?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Italians aren't embarrassed about mortadella.
No.
You know what I mean? So we should champion these things that, like you said, the peasant food they've become the popular and most fancy food. So why not?
All right. I want to remind our listeners that Deep South Dining podcast is brought to you by Mississippi Red Pepper Sauce. If you haven't had any, you can discover it at msredpeppersauce.com. It is yummy good. It is local peppers with a familiar burn, and we like.
And I'm delivering a mini bottle to Chef Gregory today.
Isn't that nice? Are you familiar with the hot sauce?
I am.
Good.
I am. I was hoping there was some here. Thank you.
So that worked out really well.
Yeah, it worked out really well. Yeah.
So we're going to take a short break, and we'll come back and talk more about sandwiches.
And Malcolm, let's eat some sandwich.
You want to eat while we're on break?
I don't know. At least look at them.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got them there.
Let's unwrap those rascals and see what's inside. We'll be right back with more Deep South Dining and more Chef Gregory Glass right here on MPB Think Radio.
Together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
Mississippi is a place of deep roots where every story matters and every voice can be heard. At MPB, we stand with our local communities, bringing you the voices of those who shape our state through local programming that reflects our culture across small towns to big cities, from the Delta to the coast. We tell the stories that define us, from the music that carries our voices to the leaders who inspire change. MPB brings you the heart of Mississippi, celebrating Mississippi one story at a time. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Welcome back to Deep South Dining on MPB Think Radio, and we have sandwiches in the control room, and I'm out of control. I'm going to take a bite of a pickle and pork.
Pork and pickles, yeah.
Pork and pickles.
Either way.
It's a cousin to the cabano.
Cousin to the cabano, yeah. So fennel rubbed pork butt, which we cook overnight, and then pickles we make in the house, and on a good French baguette. And mustard. Can't really beat mustard.
What kind of mustard?
Speak to us, Mal.
What kind of mustard?
Heinz mustard. I don't fight the people who do it well. So.
Okay.
Yeah, tell us about it, Mal.
Well, I had a version of a Cuban sandwich for lunch at Hal Mouse. And they put roasted poblano peppers on it instead of pickles. Mm-hmm. And every bite I was thinking, where's the pickle? Yeah. Where's the pickle? Yeah. So they went and got me some pickles.
You need the acid. Yeah, you gotta have that to cut the savory. Yeah.
But it had pork belly and I think Swiss cheese. Do you have cheese on yours?
I do. It was a provolone cheese.
Provolone.
Yep.
And ham, which I took off.
Right.
I just wanted the pork. So I mean, not that ham's not pork.
Yeah, but I get it. Trust me.
But anyway, it's a really, really good sandwich, and I'm excited about the other sandwich, which is a...
That's a tuna melt. So on the menu, it's called a tuna melty. Tuna is represented twice on the menu as well because we do a smoked tuna, and that sandwich has kind of a... I don't want to call it a Caesar, but it's like a Dijon mustard mayo mix, and it's got collards. So we try to use raw collards as much as possible on the menu, just because we're so used to them being stewed down. But there's so many
I saw that in one of your salads.
Yep.
I read about a salad that had a collard base.
Yep, collard and bacon salad. Yes.
Okay, I'm over here very
Delicious.
happy. I'm not going for the sandwich. I had a big one right before I came. I think your potato salad's one of the best potato salads I've ever had.
Thank you.
It's a
Thank you so
really
much.
good potato
And,
salad.
yeah,
I'm
Malcolm,
a
you had
potato
already told
salad
me about that.
nerd.
I appreciate that.
Someone told me, said, "Oh, this place in the Fondren building," which we should talk more about exactly where you're located because our listeners are from everywhere.
over,
So you talk about where this place is, and then I'll tell about the potato salad.
Okay, yeah.
Because I want to take a bite.
All good, all good. 2906 North State Street. So we're in the Fondren Corner building. Blue building, historic, has been there forever. So on the corner of, I don't really know what the other street is. But it's on State Street in any event. So we're
the
next
old
to
Highway 51.
I think it's Fondren Place.
Fondren Place, yeah, okay, yep. So
And you're where the old Basil's
yep,
location?
we're in the former Basil location. You'd be surprised how many people walk all the way to the register and still think it's Basil, but that's okay. We find them something on the menu that they love. But yeah, that's where we are, and we opened, like I said, the 1st November of last year. So
Malcolm, since you pursue the potato salad as a passion, I'll let you speak to the deliciousness.
Well, I don't have any in front of me, so I'll just have to go
It's
on.
right. It's right in front of you.
Oh, there it is.
So, growing up, my grandfather made really great potato salad. And the thing he enjoyed most was the cubing of the potatoes and the eggs. It was ceremonial to him. And this went on Sunday mornings before church, and we consumed it after church. So it would sit in the refrigerator while we were in church. But he would make this potato salad, and he was very precise about the type of potato. He liked the little small potatoes, little red ones, and he would cut them very uniformly, and his onions, and he would put celery. And we didn't have dill and capers in our life back then.
No.
But man, do I have them in my life now. I'm a
that.
huge fan of capers, onions. Now, you don't do eggs.
No. We do have an egg salad on the menu that shares the flavor profile, but part of the reason why I don't is because I wanted the potato to be able to speak.
That's what I want to talk. The potato spoke to me.
Yeah.
And it's like the most perfectly done potato. It's not too mushy. What's the secret?
Well, the secret is a lot of mistakes. So the initial version of this had a more firm potato. And it was something that I was going to have to push really hard but that's at its highest nutritional density outside of eating it raw. So it was cooked, but it was firm. But I understood that was not the best. It wasn't the best. One, because we're used to mushy potato salad, and at least from where I am, my mom will, it's great potato salad, but you can't find the potato.
It's creamed. I call it cream potato salad.
Exactly. So the idea was to just find that balance between you recognizing that this is still a potato, and then, like you said, this toothy bite that's creamy enough, and picking the best potato for that.
Is this a russet? What is this?
Yukon? No, this is a Yukon. Yeah, it's a Yukon Gold.
Yukon Gold.
Yeah.
With the skin on.
With the skin on.
There's no mush, but it is. It's like what you would call pasta al dente.
Yep.
There's a toothiness, but that was my first impression of the potato.
Good.
Do you sell this in large quantities?
Well,
can you order catering sizes?
We talk about future concepts and things like that, so there will be another iteration of our hospitality that you will be able to buy these in bulk, and the tomato and olive and other products, some of the pickles that we do, some of that stuff. So that's not ready to be announced yet, but we have major plans for that.
I think your potato salad would be a real good seller.
Good, thank you.
Okay, so I'm moving to the tuna collard.
Tuna melty is what it is.
Tuna melty.
Yeah.
With fresh collards.
Yeah, it's got collards. It has pickles on it, Swiss cheese, and the smoked tuna that we do. So.
Oh man. Now we're talking.
And I can hear you chewing. It sounds really good.
This bread is sourdough, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, trying to stay in the health component, and sourdough is easily digestible, and we don't want you to feel heavy when you leave. So
you got some dill in there.
Absolutely. I try to use dill a lot as well, as you can see.
I love dill. Now, tell me about the tuna.
So the tuna, again, something from childhood. I remember sardines and I remember tuna. I did not like tuna, but as you get older, you realize, like, all right, maybe I was bugging out. Maybe I need to try this again. So the idea was to take, an actual ahi tuna and make it look like the tuna that you had when you were a kid. So that's what we do. We cook it.
You cook like fillets?
Yeah, we cook fillets and we let it naturally flake. Tuna has a striation in it, so you can naturally flake it. And then we smoke it. And after we smoke it, then we add the dill and the mayo and stuff. So you get a kind of layered flavor profile. So hopefully that shows
I'm looking
up.
forward to tasting that. And going back to that childhood tuna, it hardly resembles tuna that we ate.
Yeah.
That we eat now,
Yeah.
all the varieties and the ways. And just if you think about it, how they sold it to us, because to make kids and people eat tuna, chicken of the sea.
Chicken of the sea.
It's like,
Chicken
why
of the
would
sea.
you eat tuna? Okay, it's like chicken.
Yeah.
It's the
All
chicken
right.
of the sea.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll do
They really had to push that
Well,
in the
I mean,
50s and 60s.
And the marketing worked, I think, because it's still around. And I don't mind a canned tuna, especially, when you travel, you get really good canned tuna. You get
I
really
love
good
canned
and
tuna.
we've been
So I
talking
like it,
about that
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
That brand that
the Fisherman's Wife.
Fisherman's
Yeah.
Wife, you know that?
Yep,
It's a
I do.
delicious
Yeah.
tuna.
It's great. Yeah, that's great.
I'm going to bring
Delicious.
maybe to one of the next shows. One of my husband's relatives just sent us a whole box of tuna, sardines.
He loves a good tin.
Anchovies. I mean, just these gorgeous tins. But what a great gift! It was like
Fantastic.
14 tins.
Yeah, that's a great gift.
And I'm so glad that that's becoming more popular over here, because
Yeah.
the Europeans have been using those
they do.
products
They're not afraid
forever.
of a
No.
tin.
No, not at all.
So, Chef, talk to us about remembered flavors.
So I was Ratatouille, the movie, right?
Yep.
The point of the aha moment is when he remembers his childhood because of these flavors that he gets, and this is what lets him know that this guy's really a good chef. So for me, all that kind of plays through everything that we do now. If I can get you to remember your childhood, which should be some of the happier moments in your life, through food, by the way, then we've done a good job, and we've kind of diffused anything else that goes on. So remembering those things is really hard to do when you're training or when you're studying to be a chef or in the marketing business, whatever. You're taught to kind of reject these old things and try to adapt to the new ones. I'm like, no, man, vinyls are still cool. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So the things that with the food that I grew up eating, my mother, my grandmother, my parents, my dad, they gave them to us for a reason. So if I can get you to remember something that you're the person that loved you most gave you, then I think we're going on the right path. So a lot of that comes with keeping with classic sandwiches, because you can identify a club. You know what that is. You know what typically goes on it. You can identify a tuna melt. You can identify maybe not a Cubano, but you've heard of it somewhere before, or some of these other things we have on the menu, the Reubens, these things that everybody's heard of, but maybe not our version of it. So to get folks to remember, and like I said, come down, because we got busy lives. Come to sermon, relax.
Relax and
let me preach.
Let the
Let me
preacher preach.
Let the preacher preach, right?
And the preacher's got good music going while he's preaching.
Yeah, we got to. It's all a part of it. It's all a part of it. Just being, just forget what's going on and have a good sandwich. Lunch should be about more than that. And like you said, that you're like traveling, you realize people are at lunch for 2 hours. That's an abomination here. No one would think of that. But man, wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool for us to have a glass of wine and lunch for 2 hours? Anyway.
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about black food, African American traditions beyond soul food, and I know that that's a topic that you're near and dear to you.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times when we talk about soul food or black food, it almost puts us in this box sometimes, because it's the collards that we talked about, or it's the yams, or it's the black eyed peas, which all those things are very much important to us. But I think it's also important to understand why we ate some of that as well. So for me, it's more about what we ate before transatlantic slave trade, what we ate before that from the home continent, because there are things like my grandmother would eat, which is cornbread with buttermilk. There is an actual dish in Africa that they do that with. And I didn't draw that correlation. My grandmother eats her greens with her hands, but that comes from people eating fufu in Africa. So these connections are really big for me, and understanding something like chow chow that we have in the South is also pickles in Haiti. And it's also all these other things. Like when we were in Ecuador, the same thing. When we had fish on the ocean, they would put this jar of pickled onions and tomatoes that had spices in it in front of us. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's chow chow.
Yeah.
But I'm in South America. You know what I mean? And so understanding that these correlations mean something to each other, and they're just trying to bridge the gap. So Southern food, Black food, yes, it is all across the board. Pickles, like I just mentioned, épices, like, another Haitian thing, jerk chicken, these Caribbean items, these things that have correlations through all of these chapters. My job, at least for me, is to understand where it stopped being good for us. And that's a real thing that we have to understand. At some point, it stopped being good for us. And if we can remove that portion, raw collards are good. They are.
Very good.
Yeah, come sit down. Let me give you one. Let me feed you a raw collard with some peri-peri dressing on it, and see if you like it. And if you don't, cool. We don't have to.
Okay, we got a quick round for you here.
All right.
All right. Favorite sandwich of all time?
Ooh, Reuben.
Favorite Mississippi sandwich?
Oh, I was gonna say something, but that's not a Mississippi sandwich.
It can be Southern.
A tomato sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talking. Mayonnaise or mustard?
Mayonnaise.
What kind?
Ooh.
This
Probably,
is tricky.
Well, I have aioli on the menu a lot, but
Okay.
I say aioli for a particular reason, because I know there are people who are mayonnaise averse, but I like Duke's.
Tell me.
Well, yeah. Okay, white bread, sourdough, or other?
Ooh, sourdough.
Toasted, cold, or pressed?
Toasted.
Pickles on a sandwich? That's obvious.
Yeah, every time.
Always.
Every
I like
time.
olive salad on sandwiches.
Olive
And
salad.
he's got an olive salad
I do.
on his bologna sandwich.
Pickled things make all things better. So
And as the music starts, I think we need to give a shout out to the old Earl of Sandwich, the fourth Earl of Sandwich, who sandwiches are named for.
Yeah.
And they say it was because he was a gambler and he wanted something that he could eat in one hand while he was still.
While he was losing
Gambling.
or making money.
yeah,
And
I know this story.
his lineage continues. There
Okay.
is now a 12th Earl of Sandwich.
Deep South Dining is a production of Mississippi Public Broadcasting's Think Radio, and we are funded by generous contributions from listeners like yourself. Our show is produced by Marissa Vaughn. For our special guest, Chef Gregory Glass, for my co-host Carol Palmer, I am Malcolm White. We ask that you now stay tuned for At Issue. And join us next Monday at 4 p.m. and every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. for the Encore Show. Deep South Dining is heard only on MPB Think Radio.